Welcome back, live from Just King's World on my Hip Hop Ish. We present to you Dope Read. Dope Read is a collection of books that's designed to elevate your mind and your thought process, elevated to make you a better person. We are still reading, and we are going into our very last chapter of 2 Chainz' book, The Voice in My Head is God. Listen, man, you should be happy. You've read a book. If you haven't read a book in a long time and you've been with me this entire time, guess what? You have also read a book. You've read a book with me. You should be happy. Some people haven't read books in years. They haven't read books since the 5th grade or whatever the case may be. But listen, man, we're going to go into the last chapter. The last chapter is called Work at Night, Sleep on Planes. Here's a little quote from Mercy. I'm drunk and high at the same time, drinking champagne on the airplane. All right, 2 Chainz. Let's go. I get my best rest on planes. West Coast trips are helpful for me. When I'm in the air, I can't do anything, so I sleep great on planes. On a plane, I can still text, but no matter what we're discussing, I can't do nothing until the plane hits the ground. Every time I have a flight attendant that I've had before, they tell me, I've seen you on a flight not too long ago, but you sleep the entire time. And I'm always like, I know. You don't need to tell me. I have rarely, if ever, overslept. I'm just not in my it's just not in my character. Something wakes me up when it's time to get up. When it's time to catch that flight, when it's time to be at one of my kids' games or events, when it's time to go get that bag, you'll never hear from me. Oh man, I overslept. I'm sorry. Nah, never me either. I don't need an alarm. My body will tell me mid-sleep, mid-dream, wrap this dream up, man. It's time to get up and go get our day started. That's a part of tapping in. Are you tapped in? If not, it's time to tap in. It's time to ride. Turn the music down. Look at everything in sight. Look as far as you can. Your peripheral will cover the rest. Everything close to you. Tap in. Are you tapped in? I'm tapped in. I can feel it. I work at night because everybody I love should be in bed sleep by a certain time. My phone isn't ringing. I don't need help. I don't need to help with anything. I don't need to worry about if someone ate. And I don't eat late, so I don't need to worry about eating. I can just work. I can focus on the job at hand. When I record during the day, not to say that I can't, but when I do, my phone rings the whole time. It might be calls from my mom, wife, the kids, or homeboys. Speaking of my homeboys, even them niggas are usually asleep by midnight. The night hours allows me the opportunity to focus on what's in my control. Nighttime is when I clock a bunch of hours in. Making music is my job. What a traditional person's 9 to 5 is might be 11 to 7 in the morning for me. I'm passionate about this here. Not all rappers or musical entertainers approach their careers like full-time jobs. Some have people who write songs for them, and they just show up when it's time to record the music. Me, I'm chopping wood every day. When I go in at night, it's the most peaceful time for me to work. I'm a little bit more unconventional. Plus, I came up under Wayne. He raps all night. I want to briefly talk about numbers. When people see certain numbers all the time, we can ask ourselves, what does this mean? Do you know what this means? I know that if we see the same number a bunch of times coincidentally, we might Google it to find out what it means. When my wife Keisha got pregnant with Heaven, my first child, we recorded everything. We all, me, Keisha, my mom, and my pops, we damn near placing bets on when we thought Heaven would be born. I think she was supposed to be born August 10th, but my birthday is July 26th. And as you have read, me and my mama are very close. During one of the recordings, while we were guessing when Keisha would have the baby, I said loudly, that baby gonna be born the same day as my mama watch. And just as sure, Heaven came the same day my mama came. After Heaven, our beautiful creative kid, Harmony, was born. Then a few years after that, our son Halo arrived. I never forget the legendary stories surrounding Halo's birth. When Keisha went into labor with Halo, my mom stayed at the house in our room with Heaven and Harmony. Halo was born around 11-something at night on October 14th. A big Libra. Around the time Halo was coming into the world, the alarm at the house went off, and my mom called me because she needed the password to let the security folks know that everything was fine. and we didn't need anybody to come to my house. I remember exactly how the conversation went. Mom, what up? Ain't nothing, I'm good. She says, it just went off. We never did it. We never did nothing. We ain't even left the room. Well, okay. The baby came. I remember people in the hospital room embracing. Oh my God, good. God bless. That's such a blessing. But with the alarm, I didn't know what made that thing go off. The mystery of the alarm going off didn't bother me too much because I trusted my mom saying that everything was okay. We had our new addition to celebrate. Maybe a week later, baby Halo had been at home and Keisha was on the computer clicking her email. She ended up checking the footage from the night the alarm went off. We had motion cameras inside the house that recorded what would take a snapshot of any kind of movement. Keisha ended up seeing something on the footage and called me into the room to check it out. Man, the footage showed a vision, and we could clearly see somebody who paused, looking as if they were walking through the house. The image was blurry, but it looked like somebody was in motion. Somebody not really looking to bother nobody, just a curious soul walking around. We stared at the still shot closely, and the more we looked, the image became clearer. The image had a face, and it moved with a deposition I had seen before. It moved like love, like God, like Epps. I could clearly see that the ghost was my pops. Oh, shit. It was written on that day, October 14th, 2015. I had buried my father on July 4th, 2012. I took pictures with my phone of our ghosts, but anytime I would try and show people, it wouldn't show up. I sent the images to Keisha one time when we went to Florida on a boat ride. Right when I did that, it was almost like her phone crawled out of her pocket and fell into the ocean. The first thing I said was, I just sent you the picture with Pop in it. Now your phone in the damn water. A few times the image did show up when I tried to show people. I showed a few of my close friends and asked them, what do you see? They would be like, it looks like Pops. Then I'd tell them to look at the date, and they would all get goosebumps. Bro, that's crazy. For some reason, I didn't think Pops went into the other side until we had Halo. That's probably why my son has my Pop's demeanor, why he's so mature at such a young age. I later sent that ghost image to my cousin Kat, who I'm with all the time. He's like, that's big brother I never had. Lo and behold, Pops is right there on Kat's phone. I told Kat, you keep this because Pops is so sarcastic that when I want to show the image to people, sometimes he won't let me show it. Around the same time, I was at Ye's house. We were all talking about ghosts. I told Ye that I had seen my father after he passed away. Kat was there with me. It was me, Ye, and a couple of other people I won't name. I told Kat, come here, bro. Come show them the image of Pops. Kat brought his phone over to me. Right when I was ready to show it to Ye, everybody the picture, I knocked over a big-ass jug of lemonade. Damn. That was something I never done. I like to consider myself one of the coolest people on the face of the earth. I have never been a clumsy person. I said to myself, man, my Pops is so sarcastic. Everybody started getting up, wiping the table down. The whole chaos put the room in a different space. I don't remember if they got to see my Pops. What I do know is that on the night my son was born, Pops was around. While we were bringing his grandson into the world, he was reminding us God is love. All right, it's a small epilogue. It's called The Fuck It Voice. We're going to read that. Listening to the voice in your head is all about taking a chance. It's about being confident in yourself and your lineage. It's about being confident in your connection with a higher power. You have to trust that the information coming from the voice is pure and not meant to hurt you. I'm not saying we can't have bad voices in our head, especially if we're talking about mental illness. There's also what I call the fuck it voice. That's the voice that encourages you to live life spontaneously on the edge, to not care about how your choices affect the people around you. It literally says fuck it. Go ahead and do that shit. The fuck it voice is loud and persuasive. That voice will have you making terrible decisions. It'll have you moving out of alignment. The fuck it voice is powerful and strong. It often sporadic and feels foreign. You know it's not a voice with good intentions because it doesn't give you inner peace. The righteous voice, the God voice, provides you with solitude and patience. It feels like your granny giving you a big ass hug. I always say you have to think twice before you make a decision. The fucker voice, you only think one time, and then you jump off the fucking roof. Have discernment. Be still. Listen carefully. Don't confuse the voices. I've had bad voices come into my head that have told me to do some fucked up shit. That's not God. God is love, and love is God. One time way back, I was selling crack. I found myself in a bitter predicament. It was the weekend, and I was doing my thing, so naturally I had crack on me. My homeboy Goat wanted to go to the club that night, which sounded right to me. We headed that way to get in Goat's silver box Chevy. I can't remember which club it was, but I do remember saying fuck it and getting in the car with crack in my pocket. I wasn't able to put the crack away before we left, so I wasn't tripping because I knew that I'd be prepared if somebody called me for work while I was out. We stopped at a BP gas station on the way to grab some blunts and soda. The whole thing. Left there and jumped on the ramp and led to the expressway. As soon as we got on the motherfucker, the police got behind us. I told Goat, "Oh damn dog, 12 behind us." He didn't seem to be worried too much until I said, "Shit boy, I got this crack on me." That's when he was like, what the fuck do you have crack on you for? We on our way to the club. You think I'm finna sell some crack to somebody in the club? I started thinking to myself, oh my God. And right when I had that thought, the blue lights behind us blew up. Damn, they're pulling us over. We pulled over and I placed the crack on my hand. Something told me, if you think fast, you can get out of this fucked up situation. This wasn't the fucking voice, it was the righteous one. This was time to think, so I just trusted my instincts and somehow just knew what to do. The same way my mom did when she fell out in my principal's office. I went into a whole production and started acting like a paranoid passenger. I opened the car door and began exiting unprompted. As I was getting out, I threw the crack under the car. Then I stood frozen with my arms raised. Officer, what's going on? I don't know what y'all pulled us over for. The officers yelled for me to get back in the car. I stayed in character. I'm sorry, officer. I just don't know what's going on. We didn't do anything. I yelled back at them, and then they told me to get back in the car again. This time more forceful. When I got back in the car, Goat asked me, "Fool, what the fuck are you doing?" I saw the police walking toward the car and just stayed quiet. When the police got to the car, they didn't even search it. That was the ironic thing about the whole situation. They asked us some questions and ended up letting us go. It was one of those rare times when that happens. We pulled away, and once it felt like we were really all good, I said to Goat, "Man, I threw my shit under the car. We got to go back to get it." We ended up having to go all the way down a long stretch of expressway to get off at the next exit. Then we had to drive back and get back on the expressway to get back to where they pulled us over. Damn near full circle. But here's the crazy thing. Once we finally got back to the spot where they pulled us over, I could not find the package. It was just gone. I couldn't believe it because I knew where I stashed it. It didn't matter though. I shouldn't have brought it with me anyway. I listened to the fucking voice and just said fuck it. That almost got me locked up in a fucked up way. I got a partner. I'm sure a few of us got a partner like this. He was messing around with this chick, and you know things get heated romantically. He ended up saying fuck it and ended up having unprotected sex with this woman. Well, she ended up getting pregnant, and he told her he didn't want the baby. She told him, "Why did you have unprotected sex with me if you don't want the baby?" My partner said, "I was just being sporadic in the moment, and something came over to me, but I don't want to have this baby. No, I'm going to have this baby," she said to him. He had no idea what to do, so he tried bribing her. That didn't work, and she had the baby. Now he hates and resents her. God got himself in a real shitty situation. At least something beautiful came out of it, a new life. I believe a baby is always a blessing. But the whole complicated life-changing situation started with his initial fuck it thought. That was the same voice that almost changed my life by not putting the crack away before me and Goat went to the club that weekend. That's not the voice in your head I've been talking about throughout the book. If it doesn't involve the love part, then it can't be God. That's what this whole thing is about. It's about accepting the unknown, having faith in the unknown. Even when you're not sure that everything will work out, that's faith, right? It's about gaining enough courage to be self-aware, to move forward in your abundance in your life, in your creativity, in your ideas at all times. That's how I live my life. That's what we've been talking about this whole time. I'm someone who has defined all odds and used this secret weapon called the voice in my head to do so. The voice has been a reference point for me, an energy to consult with, a source to share ideas with. It's the light, it's God. Can't nobody tell me no different. The voice in your head is God. The head is God's whisper. It's like somebody in your classroom trying to give you answers to a test, life test. That's what it feels like to me, my energy, my life's journey, how it feels in my chakras. I'm a son of the highest power and I'm connected. Dig deep, dive inward, accept the things you cannot change, trust the things that feel a part of you. Once you start tapping into your intuitive wisdom, you become more aware of everything. Think about things that come from your conscious mind and your subconscious. Ask yourself, ask your thoughts. Actually, your thoughts are someone else. Are they coming from social media, television, your friends, your parents, or you? Dream awareness is an intricate part of this. Going into that dream realm, knowing it comes totally from your subconscious, is something to pay attention to. Remember your dreams and taking the signs for whatever their worth should be part of being connected. My granny and my aunt and them kept dream books when I was growing up. I remember my aunt would wear them old gowns. She wore a gown all day. She stayed with my granny for a while. My aunt was avid antique buyer. She would go to different estate sales and yard sales and pick up different things that I'm sure now are probably worth tens of thousands of dollars. Back then, she was looked at as some type of hoarder. I will always remember seeing those dream books in my granny's house. It intrigued me growing up. I knew that I was part of a family that had mental and spiritual range. I was part of a family that didn't stick to only traditional conventions. Some household had Jet magazine, some had Ebony. Our household had East Bay magazines, that one you look through for shoes and swear you're going to order but never do, and dream books. All the way down to my aunt who dipped a little sniff and played them numbers. Our households were like that. Our household were tapped in. When your intuitive wisdom kicks in, you might set an alarm clock, but you don't need it. You wake up with purpose. You're able to wake up knowing it's time to get up. That's part of being aware. And even while you sleep, a part of being a creative is also having the intuitive wisdom. Whether you're writing rhymes, doodling, or painting, it all comes from the same place. It all comes from a voice. If you're quiet enough and you're channeling inward, you'll be able to hear the voice loud and clear. Align yourself with yourself. Take a deep dive into the intuitive wisdom part. The culmination of my experiences had led me to be the person I am right now. Everything I've been through leading up to the point have been a combination of my spiritual foundation, nature and nurture. Rather, it's been from the outside, raised by the streets, the trap, the jungle with the wolves, or being shown love from my aunts, mom, cousins, and my homeboys. I'm in a place where my journey had brought me, whether up or down. I'm able to embrace and regulate this way of knowing because I wasn't always as close to my source as needed to be. Having gone through my trials, I know when I'm off track. I know when I need to realign myself, and I know when I need to pray. I know how to listen to my voice and understand the importance of everything my voice or intuition is telling me. In order to tap into this unique superpower that we call intuition, you have to trust yourself. The main thing is you have to trust yourself. It's simple, but it's deep. You have to trust yourself. You can't be you There can be consequences when you don't listen to that voice. If your voice tells you I don't think you should go, whether you are whether you end up going, be careful. You could have a bad outcome. Now, after reading this book, it would be no surprise to me if someone says, you need therapy. Well, I will tell them this. This is my therapy and my navigation of choice. The philosophies and way of being are a culmination of my morals and my life experiences. This writing is therapeutic for me. I'm able to hash it out and reminisce about some of the stories that remind me of how blessed I've been and how I've made it here. I'm able to articulate these feelings in real time. So this is my therapy. As you're reading this, I'm probably on a plane right now. I might be landing soon in Las Vegas, New York, or Dubai. I might still be sleeping, having a dream about the life I lived. The pilot might have told us to prepare for landing, but I didn't hear because I'm in high school on my way to Starship. Once the plane starts descending, I'm probably starting to wake up, getting ready to call my loved ones and check in. This is probably around the time I thank God. When I thank you, when I thank the journey, when I thank me, something told me to write this book. The end. We are done with the book. We are finally done with the book. How do you feel? How do you feel? You know what? There's one more page. There's one more page front and back. If you stay with me this long, let me read it. It's the acknowledgments, okay? For my mom, my rock, my queen of all queens, my heart, my twin, my refuge, my armor, my best friend. I'm a mama's boy, titty boy. We did this journey step by step. A beautiful journey, might I add. Ain't no way I could imagine us having such a beautiful outcome without having a lot of income. For my father, my best friend, my influence, my backbone, rest in peace. It's strange how being away from someone can actually bring you closer. You taught me how to be a leader. You taught me how to be strong. You taught me how to be confident. You taught me how to be tough. For that, I'm always thankful. A lot of lessons you taught me brought me closer to not just God, but to myself. It's crazy that I rediscovered your letters from prison and they read different now. They feel different. They seem different. They smell different. I can hear your voice through them. I'm still learning from some of the lessons today, more than 20 years later. Every God is love statement you made in each letter has allowed me to understand better what it is you meant and wanted me to let into my heart. I've been on an emotional roller coaster of ups and downs. For my wife Keisha, my day one, my ride or die, my best friend, my lover, the mother of my kids, my angel, my support system, and my babies, Heaven, Harmony, and Halo, my joy and my reason, my everything. For my big cousins, my older cousins who helped shape me, Big Cat, the twins, Jan and Van, rest in peace. Jan, I remember Flip and Fruit put me onto Two Live Crew when I was a little kid. I remember thinking I was sneaking watching a flick when the twins were watching. All the good times, Kim, DJ, Kamal, Bo, Regis, Monifa, and Rashida, rest in peace, Big Ken, Mook, Shar, and so many more cousins. I can't forget about my homeboys, Goat and Dollar, the whole 5540, Old National shaped me, and even before that J Brown days when we used to shoot dice at his mom's house. You know, Aunt Mo, Mike P, the whole crew, D Ace, my dog Jihad. We really apartment babies from the perimeter Creek, Chateau Glen, Timberlane, Sherry Hills, the whole South Side. So many people were a part of this. My neighbor DC, we raised hell, Snoop, and just anybody who crossed paths with me and helped nurture and nature this nature of mine. My management team, street execs, I appreciate you. And the book publishing crew, Derek Harrell, my co-writer, Jan Miller, my agent, and Sir Tech, my manager. Thank you for the whole team at Black Privilege Publishing, especially Charmaine the God, Libby McGuire, Melissa Milson, Garrett McGrath, Sheeta Carr, Aaron Kibbe, and Karen Hickson. Everyone called me through this process with patience and love. You helped me put my story on the page the way it was supposed to sound, the way it was supposed to feel. You made sure my voice came through clear, and for that, I got nothing but respect and gratitude. That's it. Yo, when the last time you read a book? Listen, you should feel happy and proud that we got through this book. We can lay this book to rest. We can put it on the shelf. 2 Chainz, the voice in my head is God. You've made it. You've made it to the end. Listen, let us know how you feel about this book, how you felt about this chapter, and are you ready for the next book? Guess what? You reading books now, man. You reading books. You should salute yourself. You elevating your mind, your brain, and your inner self, man. Trust your intuition. You made it this far. Leave a fire down in the comments, and we off to the next one.